Good evening. Sorry for the delay, but we had a little camera action problem. So I'd like to welcome tonight's council meeting. Would you please join us in the Pledge of Allegiance?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Call the meeting to order and open the roll call.
Goodell.
Here.
Slater.
Here.
Scholl.
Here.
Rusher.
Here.
Davis.
Here.
First, we need a motion to approve the agenda as printed.
Move we approve. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? And we need a motion to approve the minutes of the September 22nd, 2014 regular council meeting.
Move. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? We need a motion to approve the treasurer's monthly investment report.
Move. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? And we need a motion to approve the claims for September unless anybody's got any questions.
Move. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Under communications, anything from the public in attendance this evening? Well, we're going to have an aquatic center annual summary.
Good evening. First of all, thank you for your service, commitment, and leadership in the community. I just wanted to talk briefly about how the year went at the Aquatic Center. As far as the numbers go, the revenues held steady. I think that from here on out, we'll see similar numbers. In the 3 seasons that I've been here, they've held pretty close to the same numbers. Our expenditures this year, of course, were down. That is due to some of the repairs that we did last year. We had to fix a couple of leaks and that kind of thing. So some of those things that went along with that, we used less water, we used less gas. So some of that is part of that going down. We do have plans to repair a couple more things. The repairs that we're doing now are, we're trying to take care of them now so we're not repairing for years to come. The Aquatic Center is 8 years old, so we have to expect some of those repairs just in general. And I think that the staff has done a pretty good job as far as identifying those repairs and keeping on schedule, so it's not costing us a lot of money in the long run to get those repaired. As far as the pool passes go, again, in the 3 years that I've been here, those have held pretty steady. We did see a decline in overall attendance. Our pool passes, what our numbers show is that our passes were used more, and people paying daily to come in was down. So that's good that the people that are buying those passes are using them. So, but we'd like to bring a few more people in. I think we're probably maxed out with the number of passes throughout Humboldt that we can sell. So now we just need to get some more people to come in, maybe from outside the community, and enjoy it. And as far as the staff goes, we've done a lot as far as changing how we're doing things with staff. We were struggling to get lifeguards, so now we're doing a lot of that training in-house. We have 3 guards on staff that are able to do that now. That's different from when I first started. I don't know how that all went before I started, but since I've taken over, we've gone to that. All our lifeguards and concessions admissions are CPR and first aid certified. That's different since I have taken over that. We feel it's really important that all of those kids are trained efficiently and able to handle any kind of emergency that we have. With that being said, I feel like we have a really efficient staff. We had very little issue this year as far as some of the high school drama that goes on. Those kids were really professional. They carried themselves professionally, they dress professionally, they speak professionally. We've done some training as far as that goes to get them to that point as well. We did have a few emergencies there, and so the collaboration within the community, working with the EMTs. We do have an EMT, trained EMT talent. Beaufort is on staff. He's an EMT, works with the ambulance. We've gotten a lot of good reports with those people, how efficient and what a great job, how professional those young people have handled themselves through some pretty scary situations. So we did have the ambulance there twice this summer, and so that gives those kids an opportunity to show off how they've been trained, and I think that they handled that really well. Talking with law enforcement, Dean Kruger has given a lot of praise to them, and then the ambulance staff and the hospital staff has given praise to them, the way that they handled those situations. So I feel like our staff is getting to the point where we want. I want to be known as one of those staffs in the state that when people come in, they know that their kids are safe. So I received emails from outside the community. I had an email from a lady in Gowrie. She's driving from Gowrie past 2 new aquatic centers. Manson has one, Fort Dodge has one. So she's driving past those communities to come to Humboldt, and stated how professional her staff was, and that was the reason that she was coming here. So I feel like we had a really good year as far as that goes. Swim lessons, we've revamped swim lessons a little bit, and we did see an increase of numbers as far as swim lessons goes. We're going to continue with the program that we have. Again, we've added some classes as far as that goes with the swim lessons, and try and get some more kids with those skills, so we don't have to do as many jumps and we don't have as many emergency situations. We also have added a few adult classes. We've added boot camp. We do aqua size, we do lap swimming, and of course we always are welcoming to the swim team. So I feel like we're trying to increase those numbers. We have people in the pool from 6 o'clock in the morning until some nights 9 o'clock in the evening. So we have people in the pool for as many minutes in the day as we can, and we don't have much downtime as far as that goes during the day. So overall, I feel like the pool ran as well as it could this summer. I did mention we are doing a few repairs this fall, trying to prepare for next year. So
The bottom line is what on numbers?
I believe it's in your packet too. The bottom line is 140,000. That's 40,000 less than last year. Last year we were at 188,000. So
That's a loss of 140,000.
Yep. Yep. And like I said, some of the repairs that we're making now, hopefully that will help us decrease that number even more.
Are we still waiting for slip lining?
We're doing. They were here last week.
They were.
Yep. And so they found one of the leaks. We know there's a couple more in the same gutter, so they're going to do some testing so we know exactly what we're fixing and that kind of thing. But they'll be back in the next month or so to do that slip lining. It's a really cool process. If anybody wants to come see how they're doing that, it's pretty intriguing. So. What's that?
The pool, they've started draining it. But
It is
not-
drained. It
oh,
should
it's
have been,
fully drained
should be
now?
empty
Okay.
today.
Okay.
Yeah. We did some camera work last week, and we needed water in the pool to get that camera work done, so that's why we left the water in the pool for that period of time. But it's empty now, so. So we'll start doing our winterizing and that type of thing. The heating system, the PLEVA heating system, we had some issue with that last year. They came in, and I'm not exactly sure what they put in. They didn't charge us anything, but to the parks guys' knowledge and my knowledge, they brought in 4 new systems and didn't charge us anything. So that system was not running. Half of it was not running last year. So they took care of it and didn't charge us anything. So they didn't come in on our time frame, but if they're not going to charge us anything, I'm going to bite my tongue a little bit.
Anybody got any questions for Susan?
One thing I would say is as far as the slip lining, that there is a budget. We included a budget number, if you remember, from the budget considerations for slip lining. So I think there is a substantial amount of the pool. We were just talking about this morning. There is a substantial amount of the pool that is getting slip lined now, and so I think we'll be in a much better situation,
For
if
sure.
we do this over the next few years, where we won't be fighting nearly as many problems. It's not easy. Obviously, the company that does the slip lining is under high demand, but it is definitely getting better as far
Yeah.
as those
Yeah, and if
lines
you
are
look
being-
at the water usage from last year to this year, it's pretty evident. So, yeah.
It's been
And along with,
nothing but-
along with the water usage, I mean, everything else, decreases chemical usage, gas, electricity, that kind of thing. So everything goes down when we take care of that, so hopefully we'll have that all taken care of and we won't have any more costs related to that, so. Did you want me to talk briefly about any of the rec programs, or?
Yeah, I mean. if
Yeah,
you
I feel like the rec
quick-
programs are going really well. We've made a lot of changes. We're using a lot of mentoring, so we have the high school coaches involved with those programs now. We have a lot of the high school kids involved with that. That does a couple of things. One, the research shows that mentoring is the very best way for youth to learn. And the other thing that it does is we don't have to worry about background checks as far as adults that we don't know. We're fortunate enough that it's a small community. Prior rec directors and myself knew enough adults that we could kind of pick and choose the adults that we were using, but I also feel like we're fairly lucky. And so this kind of gives us an option, and it just is fantastic. I know that, John, in particular, you've been to some of those programs, and we've revamped them, so it's not complete competition. We're working on fundamentals, and when we do fundamentals, then it feels more open to everybody that's involved. You don't have to have participated for 10 years and then come in and feel like you don't know anything, because everybody starts with a skill set. So switching those over to fundamentals, I feel like it's been a really good change. And then involving the youth. When we see a decrease in the 5th and 6th grade numbers, I think those will come back with the changes that we're making. There's a lot of tournament teams out there right now, but I think a lot of those coaches that are coaching those tournament teams are recognizing what we're doing with the rec programs, and they're coming back into the rec programs. So I think we'll see an increase over the next few years as long as we continue with the programs that we have. So I think that they're going well. Always looking for adult programming. That's a little more difficult. And some of the adult programming we have doesn't always run as smooth as we want it to. So if anybody has any ideas about getting more adults active in the community, I'm more than willing to listen to any of those ideas, so.
Yeah. The mini milers numbers are great.
Yeah,
I
there's
think,
50 kids for a cross-country
it's-
clinic. That's a
it's
5-week
pretty impressive.
program, yeah. 50 kids for bowling.
No.
So, yeah, I think that those programs catch a different kid. You know, we either have those kids that are involved with absolutely everything. Jordan Jensen's involved with everything. Or we have those kids that only do one program. They only do bowling, or they only do cross-country. It's not a lot of kids that only do one or two. It's either everything or one thing. So it gives another option for those kids to be active, and again, lifelong skills. Learning to be active when they're 10 instead of when they're 40. It's a lot easier when you're 10 than it is when you're 40. So trying to get those skills in them early.
Thank you, Susan.
All righty, you guys
Thank
have a
you,
good night.
We'll move on to our public hearing. This being the time and place for the scheduled public hearing to review an offer for the purchase of a parcel of land located adjacent to the Humboldt Municipal Airport, I will open the public hearing at 5:50. Aaron?
The sale is for the airport property to Nick Johnson. The sale land can be contingent upon the annexation or sale containing the requirement to support the voluntary annexation. Talked briefly with Eric about this, and he said, you know, either way is fine. It's like however you want to deal with it, you can deal with it that way. Talked with Dave Dodge and haven't heard anything back from Dave. He was the one who was actually handling a lot of considerations. So at this point, I would recommend just moving forward with it. If it
Based on bringing it into city limits.
yeah,
or-
based on bringing in the city limits, if that's the council's wishes, and then, you know, we can get everything hammered out as far as the, you know, either getting it annexed in or or draft provision to be included in the sale.
Any comments from the council? Do we have any written comments or objections on file?
No, we don't.
Do we have any comments or objections from the general public in attendance this evening? There being no more comments or objections on the matter of the vacation and sale of a parcel of land located adjacent to the Humboldt Municipal Park, I will close the public hearing at 5:52. Under new business, we need a motion to approve a request from the Three Rivers Trail Run organizers for a street closure on Saturday, October 25th, 2014, from 7 o'clock in the morning till 1 o'clock.
This is the same closure that occurred last year. Essentially, it's a start and stop over next to Taft Park there. They've had a good turnout last year, and I think they've, according to the letter, they already have 3 folks from 3 states that have signed up. So hopefully it'll be a good event.
Move to approve.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Next, we need a motion to approve the hiring of Ricky Kofer as street department maintenance worker effective October 14th, 2014.
I'm Ricky Kofer, and had an interview with Aaron and Chris Euban for the job, and I'm pretty excited to give back to the community. I lived here for 7.5 years, me and my wife, and my daughter. Moved from Gilmore, originally from Humboldt County. Know everybody around here pretty much, so I'm pretty excited to start soon and give back to the community.
These went through all the, we now put all the folks through, Ross can attest to this too. We put everybody through the physical test where they have to go, lift, 80 to 100 pounds
100 pounds.
repetitively. So we run them through the gauntlet, and he passed with flying colors. Actually did a little bit better than Ross.
I beat
So,
them all.
yeah. So it's not a competition, but he's through all that and did all the DOT background. He does have to get a CDL. He doesn't have it, but
Just gotta do one more test,
one more test,
and do the driving.
and then did a lot of the same sort of equipment operation at his previous position that he'd been doing with the city. So a lot of really strong recommendations from folks within the community. So.
Move to approve.
Second. All in favor?